Maleficent is a touching story about love, betrayal, and forgiveness. It is adapted from the classic fairy tale Sleeping Beauty, but this time the story is told from the perspective of the witch Maleficent. Let us walk into this world full of magic and emotion and learn simple and practical English expressions through the story. Long ago, between two neighboring worlds, there was a magical land called the Moors. There was no human king there, only flying fairies, talking trees, and many wonderful creatures. Maleficent was the most powerful and kind fairy in this land. She had a pair of huge black wings and could fly freely in the sky. She protected this land and all the living creatures in it. Beyond the borders of the Moors was the human kingdom. Humans were greedy and afraid of magic, and they always wanted to conquer the Moors. One day, a young boy named Stefan entered the Moors. He was an orphan and lived in poverty, but he was clever, brave, and ambitious. When Maleficent first met him, she did not hurt him. Instead, she chose to trust him. From that day on, they became friends. As time passed, they both grew up. Their friendship slowly turned into love. They met in the forest and talked about their dreams and their future. Maleficent truly loved Stefan, but Stefan had a greater desire in his heart. He wanted to become king. To achieve this goal, he began to distance himself from Maleficent and devoted himself to the human world. Years later, King Henry attacked the Moors, but was defeated by Maleficent. The king was badly injured. Before he died, he announced that whoever killed Maleficent would inherit the throne. When Stefan heard this, he began to struggle inside. He knew Maleficent trusted him, and he also knew this was his chance to achieve his dream. He went to the Moors with false concern. Maleficent was very happy to see him and believed he had returned to her. She opened her heart to him and trusted love again. But Stefan put a drug in her drink and caused her to fall into a deep sleep. He originally planned to kill her, but he could not do it. Instead, he did something even more cruel. He cut off her wings and brought them back to the human kingdom as proof that he had killed Maleficent. When Maleficent woke up, she discovered that her wings were gone. They were not only a part of her body, but also a symbol of her freedom and power. She felt pain, anger, and despair. At that moment, her heart became cold. The once kind fairy became a dark witch, filled with hatred. Because Stefan had defeated Maleficent, he became the new king. He married a queen, and soon they had a daughter named Aurora. The king held a grand christening ceremony for his daughter and invited everyone in the kingdom, but he did not invite Maleficent. During the ceremony, Maleficent suddenly appeared. She was dressed in black, and her presence was powerful. Everyone was afraid of her. She walked to the cradle and looked at the baby Aurora. To take revenge on Stefan's betrayal, she placed a curse on the baby. On Aurora's 16th birthday, she would prick her finger on a spinning wheel and fall into a deep sleep. Only true love's kiss could break the curse. King Stefan was terrified when he heard this. He ordered all the spinning wheels in the kingdom to be burned and sent his daughter to the forest, where 3 fairies would raise her in secret, hoping to escape the curse. At first, Maleficent only wanted Stefan to suffer, so she cursed Aurora. But as time passed, she began to secretly watch Aurora grow. She watched her grow from a small baby into a young girl. The hatred in her heart slowly began to weaken without her realizing it. Although the three fairies were kind, they were also clumsy and often failed to take good care of the child. Maleficent secretly helped many times and protected Aurora from harm. Gradually, she developed complicated feelings for the child. Aurora slowly grew into a young girl who was innocent, kind, and full of curiosity. She lived freely in the forest and loved talking to animals. She thought of the forest as her home. One day, she met Maleficent in the forest. Aurora was not afraid of her. Instead, she was drawn to her mystery. She spoke to her and gradually began to trust her. She did not know that this woman, who seemed cold but had always protected her, was the one who had cursed her. Aurora called her fairy godmother. Maleficent appeared cold on the outside, but her heart began to change. She saw Aurora's innocence and felt her trust. For the first time, she realized that she might have made a mistake. As Aurora's 16th birthday approached, Maleficent decided to remove the curse, but she discovered that the curse was too powerful, and even she could not take it back. The only hope was still true love's kiss. At the same time, Aurora met a young prince named Philip. They met by chance in the forest and felt a connection. A small hope grew in Maleficent's heart. Perhaps this boy could save her. However, fate still arrived. After Aurora learned her true identity, she left the forest and returned to the castle. On her 16th birthday, the curse was triggered. Maleficent tried to stop it, but she was too late. Aurora was drawn by a mysterious force into a hidden room. She pricked her finger on a spinning wheel and fell to the ground. Maleficent felt deep regret. She brought Philip to the castle, hoping his kiss could awaken the princess. But Philip had only just met Aurora, and his kiss had no effect. Finally, Maleficent walked to Aurora's side. She looked at her, and her heart was filled with love, regret, and sadness. She had never expected that she would care so much about this child. She gently touched her face, and tears fell from her eyes. She knew she could not change the past, but she truly hoped Aurora could forgive her. She softly apologized and gently kissed her forehead. A miracle happened. Aurora slowly opened her eyes. It turned out that true love is not only romantic love between a man and a woman. Maleficent's love for Aurora was like a mother's love for her child, deep and real. It was this selfless love that became the true love's kiss and awakened Aurora. After Aurora woke up, Maleficent prepared to leave the castle with her. However, King Stefan had been completely consumed by fear and hatred. He put on iron armor, took up his weapons, and decided to fight Maleficent in a final battle. He trapped Maleficent in a heavy iron net, preventing her from using her full power. Maleficent fell to the ground and was in great danger. At the same time, Aurora discovered a pair of huge wings in a room in the castle. She realized that they were Maleficent's lost wings, and she immediately released them. The wings seemed to sense their master's call, They flew out of the room and returned to Maleficent. When the wings joined her again, Maleficent regained her true power. She stood up once more, complete and strong again. The two fought their final battle on the high tower. In the end, Stefan fell from the tower and lost his life. After the war ended, Maleficent reunited the human kingdom and the Moors, allowing the two worlds to live in peace. Aurora became the new queen. She belonged to both the human world and the fairy world. This story shows us that love can change a person and even heal a broken heart. Maleficent once fell into darkness because of betrayal, but in the end, through love, she found the light and her true self again.